So next up, I'd like to introduce Sanjana Goval. She is a wonderful entrepreneur that's a part of the Women in Cloud ecosystem. And she's actually a part of our current 5.0 cohort. And she'll be sharing some information with us today and doing a little bit of a demo. So I'll give you an introduction. So Sanjana is, sorry, just let me fix my screen. So Sanjana is actually a development sector professional. She has over 8 years of experience as a strategic advisor and a research expert for leading philanthropic foundations. And she also takes part in impact investment funds, social enterprises, and nonprofits for India, the UK, and USA. She's passionate about putting underprivileged communities and their voices at the center of social impact work. Sanjana holds an MBA from the University of Oxford and a bachelor's, an honors bachelor's from the National Law School of India University. So with that, Sanjana is going to be presenting today on her solution, Unseen Insight. And Sanjana, I welcome you to come on stage and share about your solution, yourself, and what problems you're solving in the enterprise space. Welcome, Sanjana.
Thank you so much, Raiza. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for this opportunity. And just take a second to share my screen. I hope you can all see that. So hello, everyone. My name is Sanjana, and I'm the founder and CEO of Unseen Insight. I'm really happy to be here today and have a quick shout out to my COO, Tony Chan. Tony, if you're on the call, do say hi to everyone in the chat. I'm here to speak to you today about how our solution empowers funding organizations like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to take action in times of crisis by unlocking the hidden insights in the community feedback that they collect from the communities they serve. So as Raiza mentioned, I have about a decade of experience working in philanthropy and in the development sector as a field researcher. And I came across this strange dichotomy or paradox where the funders at the top of this umbrella would often lament that there just wasn't enough data or the right data for them to make decisions. But at the same time, I knew from my interactions with NGO leaders and communities on the ground that there was just so much rich data being collected every day through surveys and focus group discussions and interviews, and it just was not reaching decision makers at the top. And this issue really came to a head in 2020 when the migrant crisis hit India because of COVID-19. And when COVID-19 hit, 11.4 million migrant workers were immediately left stranded in the metropolitan areas of the country. And they were left to walk thousands of kilometers to get back home to their families. Now, relief organizations were facing an unprecedented situation. And they just did not know who to help first and what kind of help to send out. So what they did was they spent thousands of dollars on rapid assessments, and every organization was going out trying to collect data as quickly as they could from migrant workers. And it resulted in a situation where these workers were receiving 3 to 4 phone calls a day, asking them various questions about what their needs were. So if I was to ask you what proportion of these migrant workers actually received aid after all of this effort, I'd have to tell you that sadly the answer is less than 10%. So 90% of workers received little to no benefits, and 6 months on, the government had no numbers on what migrant deaths were or what migrant worker job loss numbers were. And the question really is, why was this happening? Clearly, the data was being collected, but the tools just didn't exist to effectively analyze this data. And this was what we wanted to solve. So 60% of nonprofits surveyed by the World Bank say that they have more data than they can analyze effectively. 80% of this data is unstructured, meaning that it's open text collected from the community members that organizations are serving. And this contains really rich insights. Funders recognize this because 88% of them say that community feedback is one of the highest priority measures of impact. But only 13% are actually using it because they cite a lack of resources and time as their biggest barrier, and a lack of tools and resources as their biggest barrier. So we wanted to solve this problem using machine learning. And here's an example from a client that we work with of what this data looks like. So our client conducts feedback surveys on behalf of nonprofits in the US. So if you're somebody who's been through a homeless shelter, for example, you will answer a survey about what that homeless shelter does well and what it could do better. And as you can see, they've collected this data. They've collected 80,000 responses over several years, and it's stored in this kind of an Excel sheet, which is really, really difficult for them to analyze manually. So what we did was we created a tool that allows them to upload this messy Excel sheet. And within seconds, our algorithm is able to identify the dominant themes and topics in that community feedback and provide a table of the 30 most representative feedback comments. And each of those comments is sorted by a particular theme. We're able to provide sentiment analysis so that our clients can understand the dominant mood of the community when it comes to different interventions. And we provide a topic distribution where our clients can view a breakdown of the main topics that are being raised in the feedback. And so for our client, this enabled them to identify that community engagement and atmosphere was what was most important across their feedback responses. To about 80% of feedback responses were just about how people felt in the nonprofits that they were that served them, irrespective of whether that was an education nonprofit or a healthcare nonprofit. They wanted to feel like they were heard. So we were able to unearth insights like that for them that till that point in time they had not known before. So what we want to do for our clients is help them see the insights that they need when they need them the most. And so we're able to save them hundreds of man-hours. To give you an idea, our machine analyzed this data in less than 2 minutes. It would have taken a researcher 100 weeks to do the same thing. We're able to offer full control of 100% of the data to our clients, including that messy 80% that's unstructured. We're able to allow our clients to hone in on the most representative feedback in all of the data that they collect. And we provide a quarterly infographic that provides portfolio-wide insights for our clients to learn and share from. So this was what was missing when COVID hit India last year. Our clients just didn't have the tools to know what help to send out first and who to help first. They of course were able to pick up the phone and call experts, but experts are only able to see a small fraction of what is a very, very complex problem. And so our vision is, how can we use technology to amplify the voices of this community and tell a collective story of what's working and what's needed next? So we'd love to partner with you. If you think that your organization could benefit from this technology, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you're a techie or a data scientist who thinks that this is an intriguing problem and you'd like to work with us, come join our team. Thank you so much for the opportunity today, and looking forward to speaking with you all in the lounge afterwards.